G'day and welcome aboard. My name is Ian and I'll be your tour guide. Today in episode 5, we'll be exploring Barcaldine, pronounced Barcaldine, not Barcaldine, or if you prefer, the Aussie version, Barky. And if I moved there, I could be the Sparky from Barky. Now we start today's tour as we come in from the east on the Capricorn Highway. We're approximately 1,072 kilometres northwest of Brisbane and about 580 k's west of Rockhampton in central Queensland. Now we're just south of the Tropic of Capricorn, which is an imaginary latitude line of 23.5 degrees south of the equator. Fun fact about this is the sun is directly overhead this line during the December summer solstice. So coming on our right-hand side on Oak Street is our first point of interest, the Tree of Knowledge. So the Tree of Knowledge is a monument, a statue, a symbol of Australian history. It is, we all deserve the right to be able to work and earn enough money to feed our family and put a roof over our heads. Well, back in 1891, this was being undermined, with wealthy wool growers bringing in cheap labour, which devalued the shearing industry and worsened the conditions. So the union and the shearers got together and went on strike to take a stance to improve conditions and money. Now, during this strike, things got pretty ugly between the union workers and non-union workers, and lots of fights broke out and people went to jail and horrible things happened. Anyway, the striking workers would meet next to the wool sheds at the railway station and under the shade of a big old ghost gum. Now, they did this doing their regular discussions on how the strike was going and what they were planning to do next. Now, as it turned out, this particular strike failed due to the lack of food and terrible weather and all that sort of thing. But it did pave the way and cause for the start of the Labor Party in Australia. So back in 1892 or 3, somewhere around there, the first manifesto of the Labor Party was read out under that same. So the tree did nothing wrong. It was just standing there doing what a gum tree does, providing a bucket load of shade and dropping a few 100,000 leaves and bark each year. Then it became the symbol of the Australian rights to stand together. Then in 2006, some muppet poisoned it, and being the tree represented part of our history and was actually in 1992 was declared a heritage listed site. Anyway, this silly muppet poisoned it and killed it. So the architect Brian Hooper was tasked with giving Barky its bark back and designed the tree-like structure that now stands here today. There's something like 4,913 different timbers and is possibly Australia's largest wind chime, or maybe even in the southern hemisphere. So Barky has had a horrible history with fires. So in 1896, it saw 12 premises on Oak Street destroyed by fire. 1909 saw 18 premises destroyed by fire. In 1915, the West End corner got burnt down. In 1918, there saw bushfires that claimed lives out at Salton Creek and Willoughby. Then in 1920, this was only 5 years later again, the West End corner gets destroyed buildings. Then in 1921, just another year down the track, there was like a spate of fires which occurred over consecutive nights. And even while some of the fires were being extinguished, others were being started. And later that year, 7 properties were destroyed on the West End again. So in 1924, the Shakespeare Hotel burnt down. 1926, 5 shops burnt down between the Federal and the Devries Hotel. In 1927, saw the Exchange and the Railway hotels burn down. Then in 1929, only 2 years later, again, the Exchange and the Railway Hotel and other buildings were burnt down. Then in 1933, the bloody railway station burns down. 1938, the Bolcarden Club catches fire and burns down. Then 1951 to 1956 saw the soap shop works, the dry cleaning business, racing stables and other small businesses burn. 1962, the Federal Hotel is destroyed by fire. And then in 1965, the bloody White's service station, which that would have been a massive one because that had Shell Petroleum Products and Holden dealership and all that burnt down. So, what a history with fire. And the water supply there was very bad early on in the pieces, and so the only way to stop the spread of fire was to just pull down the building next to it that hasn't caught fire yet, quickly pull it down and get it back, like to create a fire break. That seemed to be the only way to put fires out back in the day. So a lot of the images and the information about Barcaldine I got off a little website called Barcaldine/peopleplacesthings.org. So this is a great little website if you want to delve into it. It's done by Dr. Sharon Broughton, and she's done a great job. It's fantastic. There's lots of history in there and lots of stories. Well worth a good read. Just it's too long for me to put everything in there on this little short podcast /vlog. But yeah, highly recommend going and look at it. I'll put the link up in the show notes and everything like that, and also I'll put the link up on the screen as well so that you could press pause and write it down if you want. But yeah, highly recommend that little site. Now, all the streets in Barcaldine are named after trees like oak and elm and ash and all that sort of thing. 2019, it set a Guinness Book of World Record for the longest convoy of caravans, with 868 caravans, campers and motorhomes all stretching out for about 9.5 kilometres. Now, they all stayed true to form to keep it authentic, and they all did 80 k's an hour in the single lane section before increasing to 110 kilometres an hour in the overtaking lane section so that no one could get past. Now, that keeps it very authentic. It's also known as the Garden City of the West and was the first central Queensland town to have its own power station, with the AC being switched on in 1952. So Barkie is also a very proud Australian town. So back around in World War I, there was 152 people that were born in Barkie that enlisted as Anzacs in World War I. Now that's pretty impressive. So we stayed at a place called Lara Wetlands, just out of town. Now this is a twitcher's paradise, and a very good friend of mine now lives here. So I thought I'd ask Derek a few questions. So, welcome aboard episode 5.
Oh, boy, Ian, for having me on episode 5 of your Redlock podcast.
So how many species of ducks live here?
I don't know the exact number of ducks species, but there's 127 billion birds. So the ones I know are the Maine duck, the Pacific black duck, the pig-eared duck, the pig-eared duck, the trident tail duck, or the American pig-eared duck.
Oh, yeah, so the Maine duck, the Pacific black duck, oh, yeah, and the pink-eared duck, and the grey teal duck.
Yes, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's right, crazy mother. Some guys might marry him. I look at the together. Holy shit, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine how wild things can get when you and Plucker get on the tequila, right? So, what about Daisy and your nephews? Did they move over here with you?
Oh, yeah. So, Daisy, Huey, and Dewey are all here to this place. It's so good.
Oh, well, thank you, Eric. Time with me?
Oh, no worries, but just put it on my bill.
Boom, boom. So, well, as my good mate, Eric, just said, there's about 127 bird species and over 150 different animals, all enjoy life around this ancient artesian bore, which supplies seemingly endless hot water straight into the thermal pool, which sits around 36 to 40 degrees and was so relaxing to just soak in. The water then spills over into the wetlands, which gives life and water to the wildlife and area. And just in case you were wondering, Mr. Papadopoulos, the crocodiles are fake. Now, this place is so awesome. The sunsets, fires, twitching, campfire songs, sunrises, and just rewinding back the clock. So there you have it. Episode 5 done and dusted. Please put Barky on your list, on your to-do list. There's lots and lots to see and do out here, so come and say g'day. Same as always, if you're listening on Spotify and want to see some pictures, then check out my vlog on the YouTube, and vice versa. And also, please come and join us, or we'd love it if you'd come and join us, actually, for episode 6, which will be Uralla, New South Wales.